Hello and welcome to today's webinar on making the most of your eBay shop. My name's Anna Hardiman and I'll be your host and presenter today. Before we get started, there's something important to note which is going to improve the quality of the presentation at your end. Please make sure that you're not running any programs, downloads or updates in the background which are using up bandwidth. They are likely to slow down the streaming of the presentation. And if you share your internet connection with other people, please ask them to also do the same. If you're watching from home and anyone else in your household is downloading music, watching TV or movies on demand or playing online games, it is likely to slow down the video. So, let's talk about this webinar now. So in putting together the content for any webinar, it is impossible for us to get it absolutely right for everyone listening in. So we've pitched the content of today's webinar at an introductory to intermediate level and made sure that the content is relevant for people who are running a business on eBay rather than private users of the site who sell items from time to time. We've assumed that you subscribe to an eBay shop or you're thinking about subscribing. We've assumed that you already know how to list and sell on eBay, and we've also assumed that you're open to acting on what you've learned. Attending a webinar isn't going to make a difference to your business if you don't take action to apply what you've learned. So we've assumed that you intend to do something differently as a result of today's webinar. The session is going to last about 60 minutes, and most of that time will be us sharing practical tips and advice. We'll be taking Q&A throughout the session rather than taking up a lot of time at the end. So if you have a question which is related to the content of the webinar, you can type it into the Q&A box and one of the team will get back to you during the session. Please do keep your questions on topic. We may not be able to answer every single question in the time that we have, so we are going to prioritise those which are about the topics which we're covering today. And if you have a question which is specific to your eBay account, I'm afraid we can't give personalised answers. You'd be better off contacting eBay customer support. And you can do this via the Help and Contact link at the top of the eBay homepage. So here's what we're covering in today's webinar. There's an overview of eBay shops, designing your shop, using listing templates and listing design, marketing and discounting tools, how to drive traffic to your shop and your listings, and protecting your brand and your reputation. This webinar is part of a series of webinars which give you advice on how to grow your business on eBay. And you do need to register for each session individually, and the links can be found on our Seller Centre. The address is on screen now. It's www.ebay.co.uk/growth. So in this webinar, we're going to be looking at all sorts of opportunities that you've got to make the most of your eBay shop. So let's start with why have an eBay shop at all? Well, it's a central shopping destination where buyers can learn about you and your business and browse through your items through a customizable shopfront. And there are lots of benefits to having an eBay shop. These include inclusive fixed price and auction style listings, so you could save money if you don't currently have a shop. A monthly credit to spend on listing upgrades and promote your listings, that's our advertising service, and this is for featured and anchor shop subscribers only. There's a voucher each month to spend on eBay branded packaging supplies, again for featured and anchor shops only. Powerful tools to create a unique shopfront that captures your brand, and access to eBay marketing tools including Promotions Manager, which helps you to run multi-buy discounts and other offers. Markdown Manager, which enables you to put items on sale and show a was now price. Promote Your Listings, the advertising service enabling you to boost the visibility of your listings in eBay search results. And customizable eBay email campaigns. So which shop level is right for you? Well, there are 3 levels of eBay shop, and I'm sure if you have a shop already, you know this very well, but let's just start with the basics. Choosing the level that's right for you depends on the volume that you sell and how you plan to grow your business. So a basic shop helps you to get your business started with reduced fees and tools to help you grow. A featured shop is there to take it to the next level with more inclusive listings, eBay branded packaging supplies, free international listings, and more. And an anchor shop means you can expand your enterprise with confidence with unlimited, inclusive fixed price listings and increased benefits across the board. So let's start off with a little bit of interaction here. Let's do a quick poll to find out how many of you already have a shop and which type you have. I'm going to open up a poll which is going to show up on screen soon. Just select the response which applies to you. So that should be coming up on screen in just a moment now. Okay, so I'll just give you a little while to start filling in your answers. And I should still start to see them coming through here. So I can see people are answering already. Make sure to get your response in because I'm going to count down in a minute and we'll close the poll. So let's give it 5 more seconds for everyone to choose their answer. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, I'm going to close the survey now. So let's have a look at the results then. So it looks like most of you have got a basic shop, but there's a bit of a spread. So there's about 11% of you who don't have a shop at all, so that's great for you. So carry on listening and you'll hear about all the things that you get with the shop. Maybe it'll help you to decide if having a shop is the way to go for you. But for those of you who've got a basic shop, a featured shop, and an anchor shop, it's interesting to see the distribution there. We're going to show you how you can make the most of all the features that are available. Okay? So let's just return to our presentation. And if the presentation's not coming up for you again, you just need to press the blue button that says return to presentation. So here we've got a quick summary of what you get with your shop, depending on what level you have. And I'm not going to read through everything on the screen here, but let's focus in on a few key areas. And don't worry if you don't have time to note down everything that you see on screen. You can get a detailed breakdown of eBay fees on the Seller Center. So that's the URL that's shown towards the bottom of the screen. If it's a little bit small, let me just read it out. So it's http://sellercenter, that's the UK spelling of Seller Center, .ebay.co.uk/business/what-fees-you'll, with no apostrophe, -pay. So monthly subscription value. For each shop tier, we add up all the benefits and compare it to the shop tier below. So you can see that up on the screen now. Monthly price. Well, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can see how many fixed price and 7-day auction-style listings you get with each shop tier. And finally, you can see that shop subscribers get a reduced rate for insertion fees on any additional listings. So there are a couple of ways that you can access your shop and make edits to it. And if you don't have a shop yet, you can sign up by going to My eBay, go to Account, Subscriptions, and then Subscribe. So you can subscribe to the shop level that best meets your needs. And if you've got a shop, you can either access your shop settings by visiting your shop and clicking Seller Manage Shop, usually towards right at the bottom, or going to Seller Hub. So most people are using Seller Hub these days. Within the Manage My Shop section, you can access the shop editing function and access the promotional tools. And lots of sellers use Promotions Manager and Markdown Manager to run price promotions. Of course, most people are now accessing those tools from Seller Hub rather than from this page. And here's just what's further down the screen. So it might be a little bit small for you, but I'm sure if you've got a shop already, you're very, very familiar with these screens. So let's move on and talk about shop design. I know it's something that a lot of people were very interested in when they were submitting their questions in advance. So if you've already got a shop, it can be worth coming back to these sections of Manage My Shop from time to time to review and renew them, especially if you set up your shop some time ago or someone else did it for you. We've got a lot of people who've been selling on eBay for 10 plus years, and they may have set their shop up some time ago. Now might be a good time to just go back and have another look at it. So there's quite a few different things that you can edit within this section. Let me just walk you through them. So the first one is custom shop categories. So if you imagine your eBay shop as a supermarket, your categories are like the aisles and shelves. They're your way to organize how you display your items to potential buyers. You can create up to 300 custom categories and subcategories for your shop, and they don't have to be the same as eBay standard categories. So you go to My eBay, Account, Manage My Shop, choose Shop Categories, and then Add Category to get started. So how would you use this? Well, for example, if you're a seller of sporting goods and you want to create a category for your range of golf balls, you could go for sporting goods, golf balls. And there are other examples up on screen for different types of products. And you can add, rename, edit, move, and delete categories on your eBay shop at any time. So feel free to experiment with ways to sell more. And so, for example, if some of your golf balls were part of a sale, you could also add these relevant listings to your sporting goods, golf, spring sale shop category. So there's lots of creative ways that you can use this. So it's a good way to customize your shop and all the settings within it. To start adding shop categories, go to My eBay, Account, Manage My Shop, Shop Categories, Add Category. And then you see a screen like this. You fill in all the relevant fields and save your settings. And when it's all set up, it'll look something like this. Obviously, it'll have all of your ones in there and not the dummy ones that we've got on screen. Let's look at some other elements of eBay shop design now. And so this is ways to customize the shop itself. So we can look at the different parts you can customize, and they're all labeled up on screen. So the billboard image, so that's perfect for promoting your brand, your products, or highlighting limited time promotions. Shop logo, so that's a graphic symbol that embodies your brand. Sounds very grand, doesn't it? And can be easily recognized by your customers. Your shop design, tell your buyers your story using keywords that clearly describe your shop and your items. And you've got featured items, showcase selected inventory from listings ended soonest or newly listing, or handpick what you want to feature. Categories, these are the aisles or shelves of your shop, and as we've already said, you can use up to 300 custom categories to organize and display your items. The shop search box allows buyers to search for items within your shop. The sign up for newsletter, so interested buyers can get latest updates when they subscribe to your promotional email newsletter. The follow button, keep your fans and customers coming back. When users follow you, your items can appear in their homepage feed. And sharing buttons that easily promote your shop on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, and email. And then there's larger photos, so show off items that you want to feature. Larger photos are especially important for selling to the growing ranks of shoppers who are using mobile devices. So you can edit the images in your shop. It's a little bit small on screen and we've had to blank things out. But you can edit the shop name, billboard image, logo, and other aspects. And as you scroll down the screen, you'll see some other areas that you can customize. So let's just go through a few tips. If you work with a designer on your shop design or you code yourself, here are some guidelines for customization. So firstly, use HTML5. Avoid active content. You've probably all seen the information about taking active content out of your listing, also take it out of your shop. So active content includes JavaScript, Flash, and form actions. So in layman's terms, this could mean custom search bars, carousels, cross-selling banners, and anything else that you've added into your descriptions or your shop that has code behind it that's not just standard HTML code. You can create a custom header with HTML below the standard eBay shop header. You can also build completely customized shopfront using HTML. And if you want to have a mobile responsive design which works on tablets, you can opt into the link shown on the page. So you can preview what your shop will look like, and you can switch back if you decide not to use it. So we've got an example of a shop using these new shop fronts. And here's another example of a site that's, shop that's been set up using that. So it can work really well and get some nice designs. Now let's move on to listing templates and designs. And of course, this section applies to all sellers on eBay, not just those with an eBay shop. So for those of you who haven't got an eBay shop yet, this is very, very relevant to you as well. When you're thinking about branding your listings, there are a few things to bear in mind. And the first is that you really need to begin with mobile in mind rather than desktop. The number of transactions happening on mobile devices continues to grow, and it's got implications for any existing listing templates which you're using. They need to be mobile responsive, which means they adjust to the screen size that the listing is being viewed on. And there is a handy tool available which can show you what your listings will look like on a mobile device. So that's the iWays website that's shown on screen now. The other thing to remember is that you won't be able to use active content on your listings from the 7th of June 2017. If you use any special code or widgets on your listings, that's active content. And usually they're powering search facilities, carousels, counters, cross-selling banners and things like that. It's all active content, and it's going to be blocked from that date. If you're still unsure of whether you've got active content in your listings, it's well worth checking a couple of them on the iWays checker. If you use a standard template on your listings, then you'll only need to check a few to see if you're likely to have active content on all your listings. Still on mobile, last year we added description summaries for listings viewed on a mobile device. These complement your current descriptions and only appear on the mobile site and app, i.e., you won't see them if you look at your listings on a desktop or a laptop computer. By default, we'll automatically generate these description summaries based on the description you've included in your listing. If you prefer, you can customize the summary text by editing your listing's HTML tags. You don't have to make any changes to your account or your listing processes, as the new description summaries will be automatically generated based on your full item description. For item descriptions which are less than 800 characters and use basic HTML, CSS, or text only, we'll display the entire description in plain text. If you're comfortable working with HTML, you can decide which content to use for the description summary by using a special HTML tags. But of course, using HTML tags does require some technical knowledge. And there is more information. If you're confident in using HTML and you just want to get stuck in, the page is up on screen now. So I'll just read it out for those of you who just want me to say it while you write it down. So it's http://sellercenter.ebay.co.uk/business/optimize with an S -for-mobile. Okay, so you'll have seen the recent announcement about changes to the eBay policy on sharing contact details. We want to help buyers make quick and informed purchase decisions. And as part of this, item descriptions should contain all relevant product details. Plus, we provide a number of fields to help buyers find additional information about payment and delivery options. So, from September 2017, you won't be able to include contact information, i.e. phone numbers, email addresses, or social media profiles in your item descriptions, images, eBay shops, or seller profiles. Now, of course, the new rules won't apply to the business seller information section because you have to have your information in there. Buyers and sellers should always use the eBay messaging tools, such as My Messages or Best Offer, to communicate with each other. We'll be asking you to remove contact information from both active and new listings. And we know that for many sellers, offering telephone support is one of the ways to offer great customer service. So from this summer, you'll be able to indicate whether or not you'd like us to share your customer service phone number with buyers via the Ask a Question link. We will be limiting when this feature is available to buyers based on customer usage and feedback. And we recommend you update any affected active listings now to remove your contact details. Okay, there have been changes to our links policy too. We'll limit the the types of links that are permitted in listings and other eBay pages. Links that direct customers to a site other than eBay are only permitted from approved domains as long as they link to information on delivery services, product videos, e.g. reviews, product demonstrations or installation, or other legally required information. We recommend that you remove any links that are not listed above now from active and new listings to avoid any impact on your listings from September. The update to our links policy won't affect externally hosted pictures and CSS media files. You also need to start updating hyperlinks in item descriptions. For the links that you are permitted to use in your listings, be sure to use the target equals speech marks underscore blank speech marks attribute in your HTML item description. We do recommend that you update compliant hyperlinks at your earliest convenience to ensure that they continue to work correctly in the future. And until the end of the year, we'll temporarily autocorrect any links that do not include the target information. So on screen now, you've just got an illustration of what's acceptable and what's not. So now let's move on and talk about some of the marketing and discounting tools which you have available to you as an eBay shop subscriber. The two main price discounting tools used by eBay shop subscribers are Promotions Manager and Markdown Manager. With Promotions Manager, there are 4 promotion types: order size discount offers, accessory discounts, codeless coupons, and sale events. And with Markdown Manager, you can display was now pricing on eligible discounted listings. Both tools are most suited to listings with multiple units available. So that's a quantity of more than one. But they can also be used for listings with one-off unique items. The main thing to remember with Markdown Manager is that you need to use the good till cancelled format to establish the higher was price. So how the tools actually work together. The Promotions Manager and Markdown Manager tools can be used separately or in combination. For example, you can have items on sale and also offer a further discount when multiple items are bought. So let's say your sale, you've taken 20% off, but you also want to do a buy one, get one free, or spend over £50 and get £5 off. The sale event feature in Promotions Manager allows you to create a page on eBay which you can use to advertise the sales that you've created within Markdown Manager. And you can get more detailed information about these tools by watching the replay of our webinar called Marketing Tools, which ran earlier this year. And you can find it in the eBay Seller Center. Go to www.ebay.co.uk/growth. It's easy to access the marketing tools from Seller Hub. That's where most people are accessing them from now. You just click on the Marketing tab. If it's the first time you clicked on the Marketing tab, you'll see this welcome screen, which explains the different options to you. Then click the relevant links on the left-hand side of the screen in Seller Hub. Obviously, if you don't have a shop subscription, you won't be able to use these tools because they are only for shop subscribers. Okay, so as you can see, there are lots of different types of promotions you can set up with Promotions Manager. The promotions are customizable, so you can use variations of the examples shown. For example, instead of a buy one, get one at 50% off, you might want to run a buy one, get one free promotion. The Markdown Manager tool is also only available to eBay shop subscribers. It allows sellers to show discounts on eligible listings, which are displayed as was now prices on the listing themselves, and also in search results. To be eligible, the item must have been listed at the higher price on eBay for 14 consecutive days before applying the discount. And if you want to learn more about either of these tools, Promotions Manager or Markdown Manager, or how the two actually work together, It's the Marketing Tools webinar that's in our archive that you want to watch, and that's on www.ebay.co.uk/growth. So now you've got your eBay shop set up and you're using promotional tools to help boost conversion rates on your listings. It's time to think about ways to drive even more traffic to your eBay shop. So if you've got an eBay shop, that is a fixed page that eBay can drive traffic to from search engines. And as you'll see from the example, the eBay shop appears quite high in search results because the description of this shop in this example includes keywords that are used in that person's search. So some tips for you. Use keywords in your shop name if possible. And your shop name doesn't have to match your eBay username. It could be something else. Write a compelling and keyword-rich shop description. And the same guidelines apply to your meta description. Link to your shop everywhere that you can. Remember, search engines usually rank pages more highly when they're being linked to from other pages and sites. So one way to give your listings a boost in the search results pages on eBay is to use the Promote Your Listings advertising service. It's available to eBay shop subscribers who list in eligible categories. What a lot of people like about Promote Your Listings is that you'll only pay a fee for using the service when the item actually sells. So it's different from pay-per-click advertising, where you'd pay each time someone clicks on your ad, regardless of whether they buy. With eBay's Promote Your Listings advertising service, you only pay a fee for those clicks which actually result in a sale. So it's a lot more cost-effective for you. Here's how it actually appears to buyers. Sorry, we've had to blur it out a little bit, but I think you get the drift here. Although the program is called Promote Your Listings, they actually appear with the word sponsored in the search results. And that's because the labeling for the pages changed after the program had actually launched. We did some testing with buyers, and they found that the word sponsored was more effective for them than promoted. And promoted listings now appear in additional places on eBay, such as on other listings. So you could be advertising your listings all over the eBay site. And when you've got your campaign set up, you can track performance on the dashboard in the Marketing tab of Seller Hub. Okay, right, it's time for another poll. If a customer has bought from you on eBay, are you allowed to add their email address to your mailing list? So here I'm talking about a mailing list which you run off eBay. So let me just set this up so that comes out to you and you can start answering. Okay, so that should be coming up for you in a moment. And when it does, you can just choose the option that you believe is right. Okay, some interesting results coming in. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so we've got around 13% of you saying yes, it's okay. If somebody's bought from you on eBay, you are allowed to add their email address to your mailing list. Oh, the results are changing a little bit here. Then we've got most of you saying no, it's not okay, but also a large number of you who are saying not sure. Okay. So let's end that, and hopefully that's come back to the presentation for you. But if it hasn't, just press the button Return to Presentation and you will get it back. So let's have a look and see what the marketing regulations actually say. So for those of you who said yes or not sure, it might surprise you that you can't just take someone's email address and add them to your mailing list. You're only allowed to send marketing emails to eBay buyers if they've given you express permission to do so. So if somebody sent you a message or bought an item from you, it doesn't automatically give you the right to send them marketing emails. And you're certainly not allowed to take their email address from their PayPal account name and add them to your mailing list. So if you're unsure of whether you can send marketing emails, or you've been sending marketing emails and you're now thinking, okay, I might need to change this, the best idea for you is to seek some legal advice. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, how am I supposed to contact people who have bought from me before on eBay? Well, as part of your shop subscription, there's a feature called Shop Email Marketing. And it is a feature which most eBay sellers aren't aware of. And you can use it to alert buyers to special offers and sales, let subscribers know when you list new items, send out codeless coupons via Promotions Manager, tell them about sale events, which runs through Promotions Manager and Markdown Manager. But again, this is opt-in. People have to subscribe to your mailing list. Now, I'm not going to take you through all the details of it now, but I'll just show you where to find that when you're actually in your shop settings. So you would go to Marketing Tools or Manage My Shop, and on that screen you'll see there's a link there for Shops Email Marketing. So just follow that link and then have a read through and fill in all the relevant fields, and that will set up your shop newsletter, which people can subscribe to. So now let's talk about how to protect your brand and your reputation on eBay. And again, this is something which applies to everybody on eBay. It's not just those who've got an eBay shop, but people who've got a shop and they're heavily branding themselves on eBay are more likely to have concerns about this. So let's run through some guidelines here. So here we're talking about things like copyright and intellectual property. And there are a few points to note about respecting others' intellectual property. So intellectual property refers to anything which has been created by another person or another legal entity. So it could be the seller, manufacturer, a supplier, or a brand owner. So by following the guidelines here, you can help to prevent any issues with your listings. And I'll talk to you in a moment about what to do if you feel that your brand has been infringed in some way. So photos, I'm just going to read out all the steps here. So only use your own images. That's the best thing to do, or those provided in the eBay catalog. So anything that comes up in the eBay catalog, so if you're starting to list an item, it shows it's in the eBay catalog, the images are in there, that's fine to use. But don't use other people's images unless you've actually got a license or permission to use them. And don't copy from other sellers' listings, other websites, or from search engines, because that is their intellectual property. They are the rights owners. And also make sure that you comply with the eBay picture standards. On descriptions, the important thing to remember here is that you need to write your own descriptions. But if it's in the eBay catalog, of course, you can use the description provided and add your own comments to it. But don't copy, so don't just do a copy-paste from somebody else's listing or website. You need to actually create your own listing so that your listing is actually unique. And for brand names, only use them when they're actually accurate for the item that you're selling. And using popular brand names in a listing for another product is keyword spamming. So if you're selling something which is unbranded, or it's a brand that's bought by people who tend to buy another brand, it's not acceptable to put that in your listing. So you can't say, I've got some pretty teacups, they're a bit like Cass Kidston, so I'm going to put in the title like Cass Kidston. Then when somebody who searches for Cass Kidston, they're going to see my listing and then they'll want to buy. No, that's not acceptable, and that is keyword spamming, and you can end up having your listings taken down by eBay. So just a word of warning there. So if you're a brand owner and you believe that someone else is infringing your intellectual property rights, so maybe somebody has been taking your pictures, or they're using your logo, or they're using your recognized brand names in their listings to try and sell things that aren't that brand name, you can ask eBay to step in and help you. And this is called the Verified Rights Owner Program, or VERO for short. So there is a page where you can find out more about this. So it's http://pages.ebay.co.uk/vero, VERO/info4users.html. If you didn't get a chance to write that down, don't worry, because if you go to the eBay homepage on a desktop or laptop, scroll all the way to the bottom. You know where you find all of the little links. Sometimes you have to click on a button on the right-hand side for all the links to open, but there is a link there to find the page for VERO, the Verified Rights Owners Program. And of course, this is where other people could report your listing. So it's good to follow best practices, play by the rules, keep it fair. So other ways you can manage your reputation. So all sellers want to be seen positively on eBay, and there are some steps that you can take to manage your reputation. And remember that every interaction with customers and potential customers reflects on your brand, either positively or negatively. And actually we've found that we see this as so important, because when people are buying on eBay, if they're put off by a bad experience, it can stop them buying on eBay altogether. So an experience that they had with another seller could impact on your future sales, because that customer's no longer shopping on eBay. Equally, somebody has a bad experience from you, you could have lost a potential customer that could have bought from you regularly for an extended period of time. So it's always worthwhile making sure that you deliver a really good service, but should something go wrong, you do whatever you can to try and repair the situation with them. And things do go wrong. Sometimes things do get broken in the post, things don't arrive, and in a lot of cases that is genuine. Now, I know that there's a lot of speculation about whether people are actually telling you the truth, but in most cases the buyers are genuine and they really, really want you to help them to come to a resolution. So it's really important to keep up the communication and respond quickly to buyers' after sales questions regarding their purchase. And be reasonable. So trust the person that you're trading with on eBay and do your best to resolve disputes. And also remember that feedback's not a substitute for communication. So people shouldn't be waiting until afterwards to just leave you negative feedback. And I know a lot of you proactively will be contacting buyers to say, please let me know if everything's okay. I've seen, as a buyer, because I buy an awful lot of stuff on eBay, I see messages from some sellers saying, if something's wrong and you're thinking about giving feedback any less than 5 stars, please do let me know so I've got a chance to resolve it with you. So if you do actually respond to feedback, do keep it factual and avoid making any personal remarks. I know it can be really, really tempting when people start making accusations in feedback, and it's natural to get an emotional reaction to some of them. But take a breath. I don't mean to teach you to suck eggs, because I know you're dealing with this sort of thing every day. But just take a breath, think about it objectively, and put a response that it is objective. And then if you use a third-party tool to manage your eBay account, if you don't use a third-party tool to manage your eBay account and you don't want to spend time manually leaving feedback for buyers, Selling Manager Pro has got some options to automate and speed up the process for you. So let's look at a few other areas. So eBay top-rated seller, eBay premium service. So eBay top-rated sellers, they really are the gold standard of consistent, great customer service in our marketplace. And to achieve that standard, you don't need to register for anything, and there's nothing extra to pay. All you need to do is provide an excellent customer experience over a period of time. So benefits include maximum visibility in search results and a 10% discount on final value fees on ebay.co.uk or ebay.ie. So that's the Irish site for eBay. As an eBay top-rated seller, you also get the option to add the eBay Premium Service Badge to your listings. So your listing just needs to meet some additional requirements. And these are all shown up on the screen. So as long as you meet all these requirements and you're a top-rated seller, the listings that qualify will have that eBay Premium Service Badge shown on them. So do take a look at your seller standards dashboard to see your current seller level and what you can improve on to become an eBay top-rated seller. And I know that for some of you, that is a daily check that you make. How's my standard doing? How's it all going? Because I know many of you are dealing with lots and lots of transactions. If you've got a business that you're not dealing with transactions every day, then it's good practice to just check in on a regular basis, see how things are going. Okay, so some of you may be thinking, yeah, you talked about feedback earlier, Hannah. What if somebody leaves some feedback that I'm really not happy with? So from time to time, we do get asked if we can remove feedback left by buyers. And there are some occasions when it can be done, but generally we can't remove feedback. If you just don't like what's been written or a case has been decided in your buyer's favour, then we just can't remove it for you, because if you don't like what's been written, that's opinion. Of course, if somebody's been swearing or something like that, then of course we can do something about it. But if the case has been decided in the buyer's favour, that feedback needs to stand. So as you can see, there are some specific instances where you can ask us to remove feedback. So breaches of eBay policy, unpaid items, a buyer leaves feedback on a transaction with a case decided in the seller's favour, or the buyer mistakenly leaves negative or neutral feedback for the wrong seller. They'd have to inform eBay of the error and have left the same feedback for the intended seller. And although feedback can impact your feedback score, it doesn't impact your seller standing. You can still be a top-rated seller on eBay with lots of negatives because seller level is decided using other metrics. So this is why you may see sellers who have got thousands of transactions, and then you gasp and you say, oh, if I had that many negatives, I'd be really upset. But actually, as a proportion of their sales, it's very small in comparison. But even if the feedback can't be removed, you can still reply to it. Another thing that can impact on feedback ratings is when you go on holiday. So if people aren't aware that you're away and you haven't taken any action to adjust your listings, it is feasible that somebody could order something while you're away and be upset that it hasn't arrived. Now, one of the benefits of having a shop is that you can switch on holiday settings. So you can, if you're going to be going away, you can avoid leaving buyers hanging and messaging you and wondering where you are by using the eBay shop holiday settings. So you can make your fixed price listings unavailable and show buyers a message to let them know that there might be a delay in receiving their purchases. In addition to hiding your fixed price listings, that's hidden in search results, you can help avoid negative feedback and poor detailed seller ratings by showing buyers a message to let them know that you're away. So you can display a holiday message on your listings, a message in your eBay shop, and by setting up an out-of-office reply. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So how do you turn on your holiday settings? Well, when you do this, we place an automated message above the item descriptions on all of your active listings so that buyers do know you're away. And it's a good idea to select a date by which you expect to return. Now, if you're switching on your holiday settings because something else has happened, something unforeseen, maybe you've had to go into hospital or you've had a problem at your warehouse, and so you can use these holiday settings for all sorts of different things. So if you know that, let's say you've had a flood or a fire in your warehouse and you need some time to figure out what's damaged, what's not, how you're going to recover things, you certainly don't want to be taking orders for things that you can't fulfill. So it's a good idea to set on to turn on the holiday settings for that as well. So don't just think of it as something for holidays. It could be bereavements, it could be warehouse situations, it could be time spent in hospital, it could be sickness, it could be all sorts of things. So that functionality is there. Okay, so when you turn on your shop settings, you can also write a customized message that will display in your shop, and that message appears below your shop custom header if you've chosen to display one without affecting any text that you've saved in that area. You can use the default holiday message that we provide or create one of your own using text. So HTML and script tags aren't allowed. If you don't have a shop subscription, you're going to need to adjust your handling time to reflect the length of your holiday or the time that you're going to be away. If you've got to shut down your shop because something unforeseen's happened and you think, oh God, I don't know when I'm going to be back online, and adjusting your handling time isn't necessarily going to be the right thing to do, it may be better off just to end your listings so that you don't have too many orders and complaints about that. So also sending an out-of-office reply. If you're not planning to check your email for a while, use the out-of-office reply in eBay messages. So anyone who sends you an email through eBay will receive an automated reply, and you can customize it so that they know you're not responding to your messages. It's a good idea to set up an out-of-office reply for your email account as well, in case buyers use your email address to contact you directly, so that they might already have your email address from a previous transaction or something like that. So check the help for your email service or email program to find out how to do this. So let's look at how to turn on holiday settings. So to turn on holiday settings, you go to the Messages tab and click Change Settings, and it's pretty self-explanatory from there. So you just select all the options that you want, and then just switch it on. So we've come towards the end of what I'm going to present to you. We're going to leave a little bit more time to take some questions, and I know the team have been answering questions while we've been doing this, so do stick around while we get some questions answered. We have covered an awful lot in this webinar already. If it feels like there's a lot to do, just focus on some key actions. It may be that you think, actually, I knew all of that. It was just a refresher for me. And that's brilliant. I'm glad that you know eBay so well. But hopefully, it's just reminded you of a couple of things that maybe you haven't taken action on for a while. So if you're an eBay shop subscriber, check which of the eBay shop benefits you're actually using and which you're not. You might have maybe tried a tool a little while ago, didn't quite get to grips with it, or it didn't work out for whatever reason. Don't dismiss it completely, because a lot of these tools are updated, so come back and give it a try. So look at what you're using currently and which you're not. Decide where you can get the most benefit and set aside some time to use at least one new eBay shop feature within the next 2 weeks. I'll set your challenge there. So within the next 2 weeks, do something. If you don't have a shop already, you can search for eBay Shop on Seller Center. So that's sellercenter.ebay.co.uk. You can also find that from that link section right down the bottom of the eBay homepage when you look at it on a desktop or laptop. Review the benefits of an eBay shop and figure out if it's worthwhile for your business. If it is, open a shop and start using all the features. So what we've covered today, we've had a look at the overview of eBay shops. We looked at designing your shop, using listing templates and listing design, marketing and discounting tools, how to drive traffic to your shop and your listings, and protecting your brand and your reputation. So we'll take some questions in a moment. I hope you found it both interesting and informative, or even just a refresher of things that you already knew. While I've been presenting, the team's been answering questions, and there have been quite a lot of them. We also looked at the questions you sent us when people registered. So I'll look at a few of those now, because there was some that came up a few times. And really, don't worry if we didn't get to your question. Afterwards, you can get to a dedicated thread in the eBay community and put your question in there. So the chances are that another seller already knows the answer, and they can help you out. So let's move on to do some questions, and you can continue to type your questions, and the team will do their very best to answer them in the last 10 minutes that we've got. So the first one that came up, and this came up a few times for people registering, was how does the eBay branded packaging voucher work? So first of every month you get an email with your voucher code. And you can use this voucher code towards any eBay packaging purchased from our partner's eBay shop. And you must use the voucher in the same calendar month as you received it. please note that if you subscribe to a featured or anchor shop, these are the only ones that are eligible for the packaging voucher, and you subscribed midway through a month, you won't receive your first eBay packaging voucher until the first of the following month. So if you had a basic shop and then you thought, oh, eBay packaging, I'm going to upgrade, and you did that mid-month, you're not going to get it until the next cycle. So if you subscribe in the last 2 days of the month, you have to also wait an additional month to receive your first voucher. So I hope that clears that one up. The other one people were asking about was the listing upgrade credit. So if you subscribe to a featured or anchor shop, you'll get a listing upgrade credit every month, and you can spend this on a combination of optional listing upgrades such as reserve price or subtitles and promote your listings. That's the advertising service. The credit will be applied against eligible listing upgrades used in the previous month up to the value of the credit, and you'll see this on your monthly invoice as monthly listing upgrade credit. Now, this upgrade credit, again, is for featured and anchor shop subscribers only, and there are some conditions that apply to that. So if all this talk of different subscription levels and the benefits you get with a featured or anchor shop are making you think, what do I do to get a higher shop level? It's actually quite easy. So we do get asked about how you can change your shop subscription level. And you can do it at My eBay account, subscriptions, change level. There are some things to bear in mind. So when you change your shop subscription, all your good till cancel listings will renew at the new shop levels fee rate. So if let's say you've got a good till cancel that's already running and it's not renewing for another 3 weeks, when it renews, it'll be at the new rate. It's not going to kick in immediately. When you're upgrading your shop, however, the higher subscription fee will apply from the day you sign up. When downgrading your shop, because it can go both ways, you might want to go down, maybe something's changed in your business and you think, actually, maybe a basic shop's better for me, you'll still have to pay the higher subscription fee if you'd been subscribed for less than 30 days. If you downgrade your shop subscription after 30 days, we'll give you a credit for the fee difference on a later invoice. You may not see it straight away. Okay. Here's an interesting one we had, which is, can I change the name of my eBay shop? And this particularly applies for people who might be on eBay for a few years. They started off selling one line of products, that then morphed into something else, and now they want to get a shop name that actually better represents what they're selling now. Or if you listen to the section earlier on and you think, oh, actually, I should probably start using some keywords in my shop name. So you can change the name of your eBay shop, and you can do it as many times as you like. You need to go to eBay account, manage my shop, shop design, display settings, shop name, it's a long way in, isn't it? And enter your new name. But there are some things to bear in mind. So when you create the new name, it will also create a new URL for your shop. So if you've used the previous URL in your marketing, maybe you've got your own your Facebook page or something like that where you're sending people to your shop, that link's not going to work anymore. Also, your renamed shop will be ranked as a new site by search engines such as Google, so you might lose any SEO benefits you'd previously earned. So it's best to do this when you've got a really clear idea of what you want to call your shop. Don't keep editing it. I mean, even though we say that you can change your name as often as you like, that's not really what we would recommend, because the URL is going to keep changing and it's going to be difficult for search engines to find you. So if you want to keep changing it and test different things, that's absolutely fine. Just be aware of the fact that it's going to have an impact on any links that you've got on your other pages. Maybe you've got your own website, but you send people to a sale shop on eBay. That link needs to be updated, and it might take a while for you to get your the ranking for that page back on external search engines like Google, Yahoo, Safari, all the others. Lots of them. Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left. let's see if we've got any more questions coming in. I know the team have been dealing with lots and lots of them, so let's have a look, see what else we've got. Well, a running theme in the questions is really, where can I get more information? So in all situations like this, eBay Seller Center is the place to go. You can also go to eBay Help. The difference between the two is that Seller Center is more, think of it more like hints, tips, advice, best practice. Help is like nuts and bolts, how you do things. Now, it's entirely down to you what style you prefer. We found that a lot of people like Seller Center because of the hints and tips that you get, as well as being told how to do it. And you've also got access to some editorial features in there, some hints about what's selling well, what's coming up. So if you haven't checked out Seller Center for a while, really well worth a visit. So Seller Center can be accessed via the links at the bottom of the home page, like I said. So you might need to click the button on the right-hand side to open up all the links and then go to Seller Center. Or you can just, in a browser, type Seller Center as all one word, .ebay.co.uk. You don't put www at the front, just write Seller Center, and that's UK spelling, so R-E at the end, not E-R. So sellercenter.ebay.co.uk. But the information about how to personalize your eBay shop is sellercenter.ebay.co.uk/business/personalize, and personalize with an S, -shop. So you can get more information about personalizing your shop there. And actually, it's a good place to go for all things shop-related. And also, there's pages on, like, how can I improve my sales, all sorts of different tips in there too. And when we make announcements about changes to the site, all that information is published within the Seller Center. Now, you might only find out about things like that when you get an email or when you look at the eBay announcement board, but the eBay announcement board links through to Seller Center, so that's the pages it's going to. Okay, right, let's have a look at some of the other questions that are coming in. So there's a question about eBay shop categories. And the question is whether the eBay shop categories should be the same as the standard eBay categories. So custom shop categories are actually designed for sellers who want to sort their inventory differently from the standard categories provided by eBay. So as an example, you might want to have a clearance category in your shop where you put all your discounted items. It could be that you sell collectibles and the categories that are listed on eBay just don't work for you. Maybe you're selling something around movie memorabilia, and you're selling everything from posters to autographs to baseball caps with the movie title on, and it just doesn't feel to just scatter that across lots of different categories. You could put a category in your shop which brings all of that together. So let's say it's Alien or something like that, and you want to put all of your Alien merchandise in one category. That's the way to use it. If you just want to use eBay standard categories, then just do that. But the shop categories are really allowing you to do that extra customization that you want to do. Okay, so we are almost finished. I'm just going to leave the line open for another minute to allow for some more questions to be answered. So I hope you've enjoyed the time that we spent together. We are going to be asking you to fill in a feedback survey. Please do. We do really look at this feedback that we're getting on the surveys. It's really useful for us to know what's working for you, what's not. If you found the content useful or you didn't find it useful, do make sure you give us some feedback there. And we're also interested to know a little bit about your attitudes towards eBay. So it really doesn't take long to fill in the survey, and that's going to come up once we end the webinar. So just hold on for a moment, get the last of your questions in. We'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. And please make sure that you do fill in the survey. This is really useful for us. It's good. Okay, so I'm just going to wait a few moments before we wrap up. But thank you very much for your attention. Hope you've enjoyed it.